Hi, this is Leanne from Global Media Networks with the Business Roundup. Taking a look at how the market performed yesterday, we see that the Bows traded a narrow band, closing unchanged at 4,808 as investors continue to remain on the sidelines. Now, turnover was once again subdued at 242 Sri Lankan million rupees, with the Central Finance, Strong Hills Holdings, and Commercial Bank non-voting accounting for 48% of today's total. Gainers matched losers with Palm Garden, EB Creasy, BIM for Lanka rising by 21.4%, 17.7%, and 16.8%. Smoothing outlines in Colombo Ford Investments, Colombo Investment Trust, and Miramar Beach, which lost 27.6%, 26.7%, and 17% respectively. Meanwhile, global markets fell yesterday following losses on Wall Street as initial excitement over $1 million bailout for Spain's banks faded. We see that export earnings declined by 9.2% to $680 million during April 2012, while import expenditure fell by 3.3% to $1,441 million during the month. Now, the decrease in import expenditure was mainly driven by a reduction in both consumer and intermediate goods. Accordingly, the trade deficit for April rose by 2.6% to $761 million in cumulative terms. For the first 4 months in 2012, export earnings declined by 3.1% to $314 million, while imports increased by 11.9% to $6,634 million. Consequently, the balance of payments deficit widened by 32.3% to $3,320 million during the first 4 months of 2012. Now, the question faced many invested in or seeking a portfolio investment in the Sri Lanka Bourse is whether the country's robust economics would be accompanied by an equally strong performance in the ASPI. Now, the belief is yes, but only over the medium to longer term. It is firmly believed that careful stock selection will determine the true extent of an investor's gains by constructing a portfolio of the most compelling companies in the ASPI, not purely based on macroeconomic fundamentals, but strategically positioned to tap the next cycle of earnings. We see that Sri Lanka has received 57,506 tourists during the month of May, a 17.5% growth compared to 48,943 tourists received by the country during May 2011. Now, region-wise, the highest number of visitors have come from Western Europe, accounting for 15,596 tourists compared to 12,419 arrived during May 2011, a growth of 25.6%. Meanwhile, during the first 5 months of this year, Sri Lanka has seen its tourism arrivals growing by 18.2% over the same period of last year. Accordingly, during the first 5 months, the tourism industry has got 387,622 visitors compared to 327,902 visitors the island got during the same period last year. We see that Minister of Power and Energy Champika Ranawaka says that the Ceylon Electricity Board is incurring losses as a result of granting concessions to the people. He expressed this view at a function held in Colombo recently. The function was organized to facilitate those who have served at the Lanka Electricity Company Limited for several years. The event was held at the participation of Minister of Power and Energy Champika Ranawaka. Mr. Sri Lanka has decided to keep its policy rates unchanged as it believes the recent policy measures adopted thus far are yielding the desired results in monetary and external sectors. The central bank says this will ensure long-term growth stability of the economy. Hence, the bank believes the current policy rates are appropriate and should be maintained, thus leaving the repurchase rate at 7.75% and the reverse repurchase rate at 9.75%. We see Pan Asian Power PLC has decided to acquire the Padia Pelele Hydropower Private Limited for a consideration of 9.10 million rupees. Now, the board of the directors of Pan Asia Power has approved the move, which the company said is aimed at enhancing the power generation capacity. Company in a stock market filing said Padia Pelele Hydropower Company already has a 3.6 megawatt capacity power plant which is nearing completion, while it also has the license to develop an additional 3 megawatt plant. We see that Sri Lankan Airlines will operate daily flights to China from the 15th of July, and this will increase the present frequency per week to 18, covering 3 destinations in China. Now, China is a key market to the airlines since over 53 million passengers travel each year. Both China and Sri Lanka are developing fast, and more air links would further help to have closer ties with the two economies. And lastly, we see that the United States has exempted Sri Lanka and 6 other nations from the US economic sanctions after those countries have significantly reduced the volume of crude oil purchases from Iran, following US sanctions on oil purchases from the Middle East countries. Now, accordingly, along with Sri Lanka, India, Malaysia, the Korean Republic, South Africa, Turkey, and Taiwan has been exempted from US economic sanctions. Now, these countries joined 11 other countries the US exempted from its economic sanctions in March after taking steps to reduce petroleum imports from Iran. United States Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said that these sanctions were implemented to support the US efforts to prevent Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon and to encourage Iran to comply with its international obligations. Now, with that, I round up the news for today. Thank you very much for listening, and see you again tomorrow.